Hello. I think we're on air. It looks like it may be. Yay, we are. Okay, so hi everyone. I'm sorry this took me forever to get back, but just life, you know how it is. Anyway, so we're going to talk about black today, and I am glad I took an extra week to think about it, honestly, because I was like, black is hard. And it's not. It's not that it's a difficult color, but I was reading in The Secret Lives of Color, as well as some other places, like most people don't even consider black to be a color, even though we use it all the time to create other colors. So, like, it doesn't even get props for being a color. So, although crayon says it is, because I have black color right here. So it must be. But essentially what black is, it's the absence of light. So I'm going to switch over and so you can see the overhead that we're going to color black. And it looks black. Oh, and notice I made my whole mat black. So this is just basic black fabric that I laid down because I'm going to do anything that we lay on top of it. We're going to see if it goes. Now I will say, just out of, you know, because black is considered by most people a neutral, it is definitely going to go with everything. It will match everything. Black is going to go with everything, and it doesn't matter what you put with black. Black's going to go. Now, I have to admit, the first time that I thought of black when I was thinking about this was when I look at black, I think Amish quilts. Because traditionally, Amish quilts, one, use a lot of solids. So that's kind of traditional how Amish quilts look. And it colors the way I expect it to, doesn't it? So, anyway. So, traditionally, the way Amish quilts work is Amish quilts kind of have a black background or a dark color background. And then you'll see really strong blocks of color on them. Now, I will say that you're seeing the Amish, that's traditional, like early 1900s kind of stuff like that. That's the way you see black quilts made, or that's what I first thought of when I thought of black. That being said, I think the Amish that are now making other quilts that don't necessarily go with that tradition. I think they're updating definitely how they look and that kind of stuff. But I thought that this was interesting. So I did a couple of things. One, I have a, like I do a lot of fused art. So I have all these little, I teach this class and it's a, this is going to be fun. So I teach this class, and it's how to make a color wheel, which I should teach online. Anyway, so you take all these fused pieces of fabric, and I just went and pulled a bunch of these so that we could look at them, like, against black. So you can see just a variety. These have paper on the back of them, and that's why you're seeing some of that. But you can see a variety of different colors against a black background, and we can see if we like or dislike or whatever. Because I think you're just going to see that it goes with everything. Now that's a blue, even though it doesn't look blue on screen. Here we've got some reds and purples, right? So we can see how those look. That's just paper. These have glue on the back of them. That's why you're seeing a bunch of them. I think that's even a different color. Those are different colors of green. But you can see different ways that black is going to, that's a light purple. Look how light that purple is. That doesn't even look purple. Black's going to show up with everything. Everything is going to show up against black. And it's going to go with every color under the sun. I noticed that in reading that book about color, in the 1300s, they actually discovered a way to dye fabric black. And it became very trendy to wear black fabric. And part of the reason is it was outlawed that certain castes of people, and this is in the European kind of stuff, but certain castes of people could not wear black or could not wear color. It was just not done. So black became the very, like, they could wear those colors unless you were a noble blood. You couldn't wear. So look how black goes with all this. Like, there's not anything that black doesn't go with. I like it with red, green. I thought you'd find this interesting, just looking at different fabrics up against black. And I tried to buy some of everything, or grab some of everything. It's paper. So I make these mosaics, and I use these little squares of stuff, and I cut them up, and I make different strips and stuff out of them, and it's kind of crazy. I should probably teach something like that. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that a pretty color? Next to black. Kind of thing. So only the nobles could wear color, and so all the merchants and all those types of people started wearing black, and it became the most fashionable color until almost the 1700s. So it has been a color that we have seen in history. See, look at black and pink. That looks good together. Green. For hundreds of years. Of course, now it does have a black, and a lot of historical documents is attached to evil and different, not only Satan and the Christian religion, but other religions too are definitely part. I like this. I'm really liking these, like, more pastel-y with the black. It's very striking. Very striking kind of thing. So black is actually, when you work with, well, that was kind of fun. I like that, but we're going to look at some other stuff too. When you look at black is actually dyed with a variety of different colors behind it. And even if you bought black from different, I love black and orange. Of course, I think that signifies Halloween. So, not my world, but in other people's worlds. I think when you look at black itself, now look at all these, it does show every, it's like white. White and black always show every little bit. But I think because it's the absence of color, when you look at how these fabrics are dyed and from different companies, if you use bleach on them to pull out the color, you will find it will either kind of look rust, like it'll go orange or something, or it will also go green, and you can see it have that very kind of mottled green, more mossy green type of thing. So I wanted to show you this because I think someone said, wouldn't it be interesting to look at black with different cool and warm colorways? And so here's what I did. And I had this done. I did this years ago, so it's not like new information. But what I did, and I hopefully you can see. Oh, you can. I don't know if you can. Maybe you can see it all. Yeah. So I took the same three, and these are all, of course, the warm colors. The same three, and I put it on the blackest of black. And then this is just a lighter color of gray, and a lighter color of gray, and a lighter color of gray, lighter. This is still gray, and then this is white. And if you look at this, isn't it interesting to see how these colors stand up against a black, true black, and against a true white? So you can see how the colors don't change, but the effect of it, when you just look at that definitely has a different feel to it than this. Right? I just think it's fascinating that when you look at the same three colors, the same three shapes, how they give you a very different look, right? This is extremely dramatic. This to me is dramatic, but not as much. You know, when you look at them in between, like if I just put these up next to each other. So that's how black affects the warm side. And then this is how black affects the cool side. And again, it's the exact same three colors. So this is your black, then you get lighter and lighter gray, and then your white. And I did this, I guess, at the start of the modern quilt movement, so maybe about 10 years ago. And you can see that this was what we were seeing really popular in the modern quilt movement. They were using the light grays and the colors. So you saw this kind of being really popular in how they did that. And these are, that's red, that's orange, that's yellow, you know, kind of thing. But the Amish were doing this, right? And you see a lot of batik quilts. I think you see a lot of batik quilts with blacker background. But I thought that that was interesting to look at it that way. I think it's a very, hey Brenda, glad you joined me. I think it's just a very interesting look to see how black can change the way a color looks. And it definitely is much more dramatic. To me, that's much more dramatic than your white. But I like the way you can see all of them. Fascinating, huh? Now, the other thing I wanted to show you, because that's the cool and warm side. The other way I want to show you, to way that we can play with fabric, is look at blacks in different things. So, like, here's a black polka dot. I don't know why I got all this fuzz on me. And you know I have some dog bones in black because I got dogs. But we see black differently. I think a lot of times I'm really attracted to, I don't use a lot of solids, but I'm really attracted to these fabrics that have black on black print. Like this is a black grape, but I think it's very dramatic. This is just kind of a brush print. I love it. You know, but these are all black, right? So they're all going to work with stuff differently. Now, again, we get into conversations a lot also with when you're pairing blacks with prints, sometimes they go into those browns. And honestly, I want to redo or make another set of those with the cool and warm with the tans to dark to this kind of blackish brown kind of thing. But aren't those browns, I just think it has a rich texture. I love the kind of cream and black together. I'm really attracted to the cream and black. And I know we've looked at these a lot, but we can see how the white, see this has a cream background, so it's going to look more in this where this has a more white background. It may blend with that a little bit more. And then, of course, here's our black with the swirls, which I think could kind of go up here. So black does work. And here's another dot. You can never have enough polka dots. Like, seriously. Can you? I mean, do you have enough polka dots? I don't know. I don't think I do. I think you can always have polka dots. You can always have polka dots. Polka dots are your friend. Now, this one's got a more white background. So, you know, pair it up here. This one definitely has more white background. Right? So those are interesting, I think. I mean, you could make an all-black quilt. It'd be fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So, I've had this forever. Look, it's still got the plastic on it. But this is called Little Black Dress. It was from Basic Gray. It's been years ago. It's been over 10 years ago. But if you'll notice, I like when you look at jelly rolls, you can kind of see the colors in it. But you'll notice it has these colors that go into the creamies, that go into the grays. So this is like a big neutral palette right here. And I made a quilt out of this with a layer cake. And I think I bought this to go with it and ended up not using it. And I've just never opened it again. So I love this. I'm not probably going to use this for a while. I got to think about it, how I want to use it. The quilt that I made out of this, I gave to my mother who passed, and I have the quilt back. It's one of the things I wanted from her estate, but I don't know. She loved this too. This was her color. She liked the browns and the blacks together. And I guess I do too, because I grew up with that in my living room. Like our living room had browns and blacks and this big brown couch. I mean, that's kind of what this palette was in my living room growing up as a child. So I don't know. I don't know that was real 80s stuff though. My mom was interesting lady. She was a cool lady. A friend of mine, look at this light blue. I'm going to take these browns away for a second. I'm going to put those behind me. But look at this light blue. Isn't this interesting? A friend of mine made a light blue background with applique black and whites on top of it. One of the most stunning quilts I've ever seen. Which reminds me of this one behind us because it's got that kind of lightish blue in the star. But notice how all of those go together. So you've got the green, the red, the teals, the little gray print. And this I love because it does have batiks and modern fabric. Some of that's Tula Pink, some of it's Cafe. So it's got a lot of different of those colors. But I love this blue, light blue. Would you do light blue and black together? Because I'm telling you, it is one of the most stunning quilts I've ever seen. With applique on it. It was just... And my good friend, she uses black and white in almost everything she does. So it's kind of one of those things. Here's where we get those stone colors. Remember, we've been looking at these with it. Black's going to go with all of this. I mean, honestly, I was kind of like, I could pull anything in my stash. Anything. And black would go with it. And that's probably true for white as well. Or cream. Those are all going to go with black. This is definitely a quilt. Maybe more masculine in some eyes. You know, maybe not. My mother loved these colors. These would be right up her alley. So this would be, maybe not these, but definitely these. These colors would live in my mother's house. And yes, we had the avocado kitchen. Remember when that was a thing? Like the avocado stuff? Here's gray. So this is the more gray look. So definitely you're going to see gray and black and white together. That's always going to go together. Light blues, gray, teal. I'm not going to find anything. This may not be a very long video because I don't know that we're going to find anything that we're not going to be pleased with. Now, I will say that this, because of this orange and then black, that may evoke a certain, especially in the States, that may evoke the feeling of Halloween because you see orange and black all together in Halloween a lot. I don't know. I think pink and black would be really interesting. Again, you can never have enough polka dots. Polka dots are your friend. This I love. I love this. Like, this needs to be a quilt as far as I'm concerned. Really? I'm just like, look at that. Look at the richness of that. Oh my gosh. Like, we got to do something with this. Like, this is going to show up later. I'm just telling you right now. And this is old Tula Pink. This is like Neptune Tula Pink, I think. Anyway, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Oh my gosh. We could just stop right here. Like, this is up my alley. Definitely. Oh, keep the blacks. I found this print, which I thought was interesting. Kind of a big print. It's got a lot of text and stuff, and it's modeled. But it's got the black outlining, so you're going to put a black with that, and it's just going to pop. It's going to just be... I would use a big block with this, too, like a snowball or something like that. This is one of my... And I only have this left of it, and I think I had 4 or 5 yards of it at one point, and this is just one of my very favorite black prints. And you really don't find a lot of good black on black prints. Like, I think they're harder to find. I don't think you see them as often because everybody's always interested in the color. That you don't see, you see a little bit, but not a lot of the black on black, and I just love that. Okay, I'm going to pull out some really bright stuff, and we'll look at that. Brights! I know we've seen this blue before, but it's going to go with black. Purple's going to go with black. I mean, that's definitely a look. Maybe not my favorite. I like the blue with it, though. That would be interesting. That's really popping to me. I don't love it. And blue's not my favorite. I mean, I don't dislike it, but it's... I mean, I think I struggle with a light blue. Ooh. 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 That could be interesting. Look at that little sweet pea. I like all the flower stuff. Oh, I'm not getting rid of this blue. I'm like happy. I like this. Not as much as I like that green, but this is nice with the black. Hopefully you guys find this as fascinating as I do, because I'm just like, how much more can we see? Little stripe with that blue. I'm telling you, I'm going to make a blue and black quilt now. I am. I'm going to make blue and black and white quilt, and you guys are going to love it. You're going to love it because it's going to be so fun. Ooh, peach. Ooh. See, to me, totally reminds me of the 80s. Totally reminds me of the 80s. You would wear black and like this hot pink or peach. Like that just reminds me of the 80s. Red, of course, red's always going to go with black. To me, that reminds me of, it reminds me of sports teams. Red and black remind me of sports teams. It reminds me of the University of Georgia. I live in Georgia. It reminds me of the University of Georgia when I see red and black together. So, I know a lot of people love it. A lot of people love it. But I'm kind of liking these kind of off colors with it, like the more subdued colors with black. I mean, you can do bright, but that to me is Halloween, reads Halloween. And it's just in the States. Maybe that's not true in other areas of the world. I don't know. I'm just throwing fabric around. Hi, Kathy. How are you? I'm glad you joined us. I'm telling you, I'm not getting away with this blue. This blue right now is that and the green are my favorite right now that we've pulled out. This blue may be interesting. With black. That's got a lot of stuff going on. It's got the browns and the oranges. Probably why I haven't used it much. It's just because if you cut it too small, these kind of prints I love, but you got to use them big. And here's why. Because if you cut it too small and you're like, I wanted that to be in the blue section, and now I'm all getting only the brown and the gold. So that makes it a little bit more difficult to use unless you, specialty cut or fussy cut, selective cut. There's a lot of different terms I've heard. But black looks good with that. Black's going to look good with everything. Okay, so here's some black on white. See, I think if you did that, just, y'all, this has got to happen. I'm going to do something with this. Stay tuned. Like, I just cannot. I'm not even going to put that on I'm not even going to put that over here. I'll leave those there. Then the pink. Oh, look at the pink. The pink looked pretty with that. Is this a background and then the black on top of it? Could be interesting. Could be very interesting. And I'm not a big pink lover. Of course, now, y'all know me. If I'm going to buy a solid, it's probably going to be one of these grunges that has more going on in it. Like, I don't buy a lot of just solids. Like, I want something else going on with it. That's me. It doesn't have to be you, but... Now, okay, so I bought this fabric, and at first I thought it was really ugly. Like, I totally did. But the more I look at it, the more I love this plaid. And I'm just like, it was made to be with black. It was just made to be with black. And it's got some really interesting colors in it. And it's a weird looking plaid. But I don't know. I just think it's really got a lot going on. I love it. I didn't like it at first, though. Anyway. Interesting, though. But that goes with black. Ugly fabrics go with black. All the fabrics go with black. Okay, and I bought this fabric, and I love this fabric. It wasn't a, I didn't like it. So this is all these book covers. I'm a book person. I love reading. I read a lot. So this is like all these different kind of children's books, you know, the Oz books and Aesop's Fables and Arabian Nights and Peter Pan. And so I just think that would be, like, this is just a rich look right there. Right? Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? Just fun. But I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this yet. This is, I don't know. It'll be something, that's for sure. I love it. And these are some of the things we've seen before. These are the, you know, even a cream you're going to be able to marry with black. Now, would I marry these two together? Probably not so much, because that's a little strong for me. Maybe a real thin edging, but it works. It does work. It doesn't go with this kind of soft. Like these kind of have a soft look to them. If I use these three together and then put this black with it, that feels really harsh to me. You could do it maybe with sashing or something like that, but I'm pretty sure I would choose like maybe a green or this cream or something more mottled than this black. So maybe not. If I'm wanting a soft look to my quilts, using black is not going to give me a soft look. It's going to give me a very harsh line. So now you can definitely, oh, that looks hot. Let's just look at that for a second. Maybe with this. Wow, this may need to be something. What a rich look. Does that not have a rich look? A rich look. Just the richness of the colors. The black is really, and it's because this has a black background. That's what you're tying into that. But it just gives a richness to it. And I like this better than I do the polka dot with it. And you know how I feel about polka dots. All things could be polka dot. This would work too, but I really like this because I like this. It just has a really rich look to it. It's a K facet one. Orange, or no, I'm sorry, red. Again, to me, red and black look like a sports team, but I think it's just because I live here too. I think it's a great color combination, and it will always be attractive. Now, I will say, I think I read someplace a long time ago that red, black, and white are the first colors that babies see, so it's really good to have red, black, and white quilts for young ones when they're looking at stuff, because they can recognize those colors faster than other things. So, you know, that may be a neat color combination, just if you're doing a baby quilt, like baby. Not like toddler, baby. Baby. So how, like when someone says, I'm pregnant, I'm like, I get 9 months by the time you tell me to make your quilt. So I don't have to have it done by the shower. Isn't that horrible? I'm so bad. Anyway, this is okay with it. This is not like my thing, no. And I think it's because this is navy and it just competes with that a little bit. It's not my favorite. I would do other things. But it doesn't not work. It just not my favorite. Maybe do something more like this. Yeah, where it's going to pick up that white a little bit. This would work better for me than this one. Isn't that interesting how some fabrics look? All right, this was one of my favorite. I really love this fabric, and I knew I would like it with this black, so right here, love it. I thought I brought, I must not brought it in. So I just think it's fascinating that even though it's something that we expect, let's switch back. Even though it's something we expect with black can go with everything, I think when we pulled out and looked at some of this stuff, we realized that, yeah, it can go with everything, but maybe there are better black choices in fabrics that go with some colors or backgrounds, and it would depend on the background of the fabric. Like when we looked at that navy, it goes, but it's not necessarily the best choice of fabric with that background on that. So depending upon how black some of your fabric is, if it's solid or if it's got print on it, you'll notice on the quilt behind me that the black that is kind of the setting, it has these circles, and the circles are different colors of gray. So it kind of gives it a more mottled effect. Now there's black in almost every choice of fabrics in there, and I think there are 11 fabrics. Some of it is gray, and this is got a white circled border on it. That's what that is, kind of thing. So, but interesting, absolutely interesting. So, all right. Well, okay, so what I want to tell you is this weekend on Friday the 11th, I think it's the 11th. I think it's the date. I'm bad at dates. Friday the 11th, I'm going to drop all the information for the stitch along. That's what's been keeping me busy, is I've been trying to get all of that ready so that it's all behind the scenes done so that you can sign up and we can do it. So there's going to be 2 different options. Or 3 really. You can just watch the videos on YouTube. They'll all be here, except for there'll be a private Facebook group that you can join. It's going to be $14 a month subscription that you can join, and we will have Zoom classes every other week, and you can ask me questions and we can talk about all the different things, not only with the block, but I'm going to show you how to use that block in other quilts as well. So I'm going to teach you 13 blocks, and you can make 1,000 quilts out of those 13 blocks, and it will be amazing if learning those 13 blocks. So it's going to be super fun. You'll find out all the information. That's if you want to join the Facebook group. If you don't want to join the Facebook group, you can download the pattern, and that's less. And then if you just want to watch the videos, you can just watch the videos, and that's fine too. I'm going to give you lots of information. I'll show you step by step how to do it. The first video of the pattern drops on July 4th. I also just had an interview for Steve Bland. So Steve Bland is a quilter in Canada, and he interviewed me on his channel. So that'll be out Tuesday of next week, and you'll get the links there and all the information. I'm going to give you the links, all the information on the 11th, and so that you will have that there as well. But I think the stitch along is going to be super fun, and I hope everybody enjoys it. It's going to be the first week I'm going to teach you 2 blocks, and then I've also related all the blocks to books that I like and that I've read. And so about 3 or 4 years ago, PBS did this countdown of America's favorite books. And so I chose 12 books on that list that I like. And so I kind of related each block to that list and stuff. So the class is called Quilt Lit 101. So it's quilting, but literature 101. I used to teach college, so I thought that would be fun. Because this is not, you do not have a test in this class. But there's quizzes and fun stuff in the teaching platform, and that will be all ready for you, ready to go. So that's what I've been working hard on. I hope you guys like it, but you'll get more information on that soon. All the fabric requirements and all that kind of stuff drops on the 11th. And all that's ready to go and up there. So I'm super excited because I do want to have more interaction. So we'll have YouTube links, or YouTube's will always be available to everybody. Then there'll be a behind the scenes stitch along if you want to join the private Facebook group. And that's completely up to you. You can do whatever. So thank you. Oh, and Kathy, yes, I love to read. So yeah, I'm a reader. I am. And so my husband and I were planning to go to the beach soon, and I told him, I said, all right, how many books do we need? Because he's a reader as well. We're like, we're going to read for a week. I just think it's hilarious that we're both that way. Anyway, all right. Thank you all for joining me, and thank you for putting up with me on being late on doing some of these things, but getting it out there. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Y'all have a great